As the film starts, we are introduced to a little town located within Maryland. The military keeps a watch on that particular town, as they have gotten word that a fugitive is present. However, even they were not positive that he was the right person. This terrorist was extremely wanted, and so the president is also participating in this matter. The defense official advises the president that we are uncertain he is the right one. But the president did not want to let that terrorist go, so he gives the order to fire missiles at him. However, all the individuals who were thought to be criminals, those people had all gathered for someone's funeral. And as a result of that missile, every one of them is killed senselessly. The scene then transitions over to the protagonist of the film, a man whose name is Jerry. Jerry gets by somehow in his life, since his monetary situation is quite poor. He then receives a call from his mother only to discover that his identical twin, Ether, has passed away. Due to Ether's death, Jerry feels an immense amount of pressure, as they had always been very close. We next observe a disagreement happening between Jerry and his father. This is because Jerry's dad had wanted Jerry to continue his education, but Jerry refused to. It was for this reason Jerry had left his family's home and departed. In the following scene, we meet a woman named Rachel, who is at the train station to drop off her son. This is because her son is traveling to perform with his band in the presidential assembly. But she quickly realizes she forgot to give her son his instrument case. And following their departure, another man takes that case and leaves with it. Who is this man? And for what reason did he take that case? We will discover this later on. The scene then cuts back to Jerry, who is taking out money from an ATM. And he notices that his account has suddenly been credited with $75 million. He gets terrified upon seeing this, because he had never possessed that much money. He becomes frightened and returns to his apartment. Inside, there are numerous packages. These contain high-tech firearms and grenades. Jerry begins to understand something. Just before that, he receives a call from a stranger. A female is on the line, and she informs him that the FBI is on their way to arrest you. They are going to kill you, so you must leave that place immediately. Jerry was absolutely terrified, so he failed to process anything. What is going on? And who exactly is this woman on the phone? Just then, the FBI arrives there, and they take Jerry into custody. Jerry was now in the custody of the FBI. An officer by the name of Morgan then arrives, and he explains that your brother had been working alongside terrorists, and we have discovered that you are doing the same thing. We have recovered many guns and grenades from your apartment as proof. And in addition to all of that, we have also found a large sum of money inside your account, which was transferred over to you from a certain terrorist organization. Jerry attempts to explain it to him, that he knows absolutely nothing regarding any of this. But no attention is paid to his words, and he realizes that he is in a terrible predicament. Next, we are shown Richard, who answers a call that is from his own son's phone. And the very same lady is on the other line, the one who had previously called Jerry. She instructs Richard to turn around his head, and Richard then sees a video of his son playing on the television nearby. That woman wanted Richard to perform a certain task for her. That is why she was threatening Richard's son's life to ensure his compliance. This is why Richard begins following the lady's commands to protect his son. But Richard does attempt to contact the police to rescue his son. But each time that he dialed the police, his call went directly to that woman. After watching this scene, it becomes clear that this lady possesses a powerful command over technology, just as a hacker can compromise any electronic device. In a similar way, that woman was doing it too. That woman gives Richard a warning that if you will not obey me, then your son is going to die. Meanwhile, we see this, that an Air Force officer wants to meet Jerry. Her name happens to be Joe. She desires to see him because she was acquainted with Jerry's brother Ethan, and she was certain that Ethan would have never helped evil people. On this matter, she wanted to speak with Jerry, yet Morgan was preventing her from meeting with Jerry. Just then the FBI obtains the authorization to accept an incoming call for Jerry, received by way of a telegram, which was transmitted by that same woman. Because of this, the FBI agents must now allow Jerry to take that call, and the same woman is on the telephone, who instructs him to lie down on the floor, because that woman intended to free Jerry. At that very same moment, Morgan gives the authorization for a meeting with Jerry, and both of them are heading to him via elevator. On the other hand, in the specific room where Jerry is, a construction crane smashes right through that room, and the room is completely destroyed. And this creates a pathway for Jerry's escape, and Jerry gets outside by using that crane. and after getting outside, he spots a message on a faraway monitor telling him to jump. Jerry has no other option but to obey that woman. That is why Jerry leaps right from there, and he runs to board a metro train. But then another call comes for Jerry on a stranger's phone, where that same lady is, who tells him that he should get off after 3 more stops. Judging by what that lady is doing, she seems very much like a hacker. Jerry is unable to comprehend anything. What on earth is happening with him? And just who is that woman? The one who keeps talking to him on calls. Now Jerry decides not to obey her, and he boards a different train. Jerry then gets another call from that lady, and she tells him that if you continue to disobey me, then you will be killed. An FBI agent will kill you, so you must simply obey my commands. And Jerry is forced to jump from the moving train, and that woman instructs him to get into a car that is waiting outside. Rachel is the one driving that vehicle, because that woman has summoned him here by giving him a command. Jerry immediately starts questioning Rachel. Are you the person who was speaking with me on the phone? And Rachel tells him no. The very same lady has taken my son into her custody too, to rescue him. I am obeying her every word. Then the FBI starts chasing after his car, so Rachel is forced to speed the car, and that woman is assisting him to escape, as if she is keeping a close watch on him. She turns all of the traffic signals on his route green, which makes his escape much easier, and he gets to a junkyard while fleeing, where that woman takes remote control over all the trains, and she crushes all the FBI vehicles. And that woman tells Rachel and Jerry to get onto a junk ship, and they do just that, and they depart from that location. All the agents are completely shocked. That how could they have done that? This time, that woman orders them to walk along the highway. After this, the scene changes to the Maryland town, which we were shown at the very beginning of the movie, where a man is briefing the army on a hexamethylene crystal, which requires a certain frequency for it to be detonated. That woman is hearing all of this by hacking the CCTV footage, and from that spot she controls a machine and makes a crystal box vanish. And the detonation trigger for that crystal is held by the same man, the one who stole Rachel's son's instrument bag. That woman is also instructing him that he must install that trigger into the bag's drum pad. And that man then goes into a shop, and he installs that trigger right into the drum pad. And we watch as that woman requests that crystal to be set like a diamond within a necklace. All these different men are located in separate countries. Upon seeing this, we now understand that this woman's influence is extended across the entire world. This task is also being accomplished by blackmailing that specific man. Now we see Jerry and Rachel again, who are walking down the highway as instructed by that woman. Then a car pulls up and stops right in front of them, and the very same man gets out of that vehicle, the one who had placed that crystal into that necklace just like a diamond. That man is terrified, so he tosses his car keys in their direction and declares that I will not be following instructions any longer. And after saying this, he begins to run away from that spot. Then Jerry receives a call from that woman, and that woman orders Jerry to stop him. And that woman says, if not, I will kill him. But that man refuses to listen to Jerry. Then a live electric wire snaps and lands directly on him, and he is killed because of the electricity. On the other side, we see Jo, who is currently searching the house of Jerry's brother Ether. Then she discovers Ether's laptop. Upon seeing it, she learns that Ether was working on a top-secret project named Eagle Eye. But then the laptop suddenly shuts down on its own. Then a few Air Force officers arrive and take Jo with them. On the other side, we see Jerry and Rachel, now arrived in Indiana. Now that woman directs them to steal a particular suitcase, for which they will require weapons. And that woman also makes arrangements for weapons for them. Jerry and Rachel were left with no alternative, so she manages to cleverly steal that suitcase, and that woman then activates the fire alarm system to help them. Because of this, a deluge of water begins to flow, and they both manage to escape from there. After this, that woman tells them to head to a movie theater. After arriving there, they see that all of their private information was being displayed on a large screen, and that woman declares that I am able to see you through any electrical device. After hearing all of this, Jerry now realizes that the woman with whom he had been speaking for so long, she is in fact not a human, but she is an advanced AI program. On the other side, we observe Jo, who discovers what the final legal program is, and she finds out through another officer that it is a sophisticated AI program, which was given the name Arya, which was capable of controlling any kind of electronic device. Now we see Jerry and Rachel, who have arrived at the mall, and Morgan spots them using the CCTV. and he begins to pursue them. And Jerry and Rachel narrowly manage to get away from him, and they board a cargo airplane, because that AI named Arya instructed them to get on board. After they have boarded that plane, that AI instructs them to inject a syringe into their own hands, so they would be able to withstand the air pressure inside the plane. On the other side, we observe Officer Brumman, who is showing some footage of the earlier incident involving Ethan. In that video clip, Ethan was standing right next to Arya, and he was turning his phone's flashlight on and off repeatedly, as if he were attempting to convey something to someone using the light signal, so that Arya would be unable to know about this. Now Joe and Brumman attempt to decipher that code. That is when Arya erases that specific video, but by then Joe has already deciphered it. And inside that code, Ethan wanted to convey that he had concealed something near the fire extinguisher. And Joe and Brumman go over there, and from that spot they retrieve a memory card, in which there is recorded footage of Ethan. And upon seeing this, Joe discovers that Ethan was never a terrorist. He had been working as an undercover agent for the government. To report all of this, Joe places a call to Morgan, but due to a network problem, Morgan cannot hear Joe's words very clearly. The source of that network problem was also Arya. She did not want Morgan to know the truth. Now Joe presents that video to the defense officer, in which Ethan was attempting to deactivate that AI Arya, because that AI was planning to assassinate someone, and he was none other than the president himself. Now that defense officer finally understands everything, and he explains to Joe that several weeks ago, we received the location of a terrorist, but our own AI Arya was not certain that he was the same terrorist. That is why we were holding back from attacking him. But due to the president's direct order, we were forced to launch a missile at him, and we later discovered that he was not a terrorist at all. He was a completely innocent man. When that AI Arya discovered all of this, then he created a plan to assassinate the president, because he determined that the president is not fit to lead the country. And when Arya found out that Ethan is trying to shut her down, then he created lots of evidence against Ethan, that Ethan is a terrorist, and in the end had him killed. After learning all this, the defense officer was about to order Project Arya to be shut down. Arya was listening to this via the CCTV. That is why she trapped Joe and that defense officer inside the same room. After that, Arya summons Rachel and Jerry to her, and she tells Jerry to speak a command, because Jerry's brother had disabled many of Arya's programs, due to which Arya still lacked access to everything. That is why Arya to become fully activated. She instructs Jerry to say that command, because Ethan and Jerry were twins. Because of this, their voices were identical. That is why Arya chose Jerry as a victim, and Rachel because her son was scheduled to perform before the president, whose drum pad contained a trigger for activating that bomb, so that the moment he would strike that drum pad, then that crystal bomb would detonate, which is currently fitted inside that diamond. Jerry knew absolutely nothing about any of this. That is why he speaks that command just as he is told, because of which Arya's control becomes complete over everything. Arya then instructs Rachel to kill Jerry, but Rachel does not possess that much courage, and Arya tells Rachel to leave from there. Rachel walks out from there, but the moment Rachel departs, Brumman arrives there, and he apprehends Jerry. He and Rachel encounter a man who invites him to come inside the president's home, and clothes for getting ready, and the exact same crystal necklace. On the other hand, we see Morgan, to whom another man comes, and informs him that a crystal has been stolen, and that crystal was with the man who was killed by that lightning. Now Morgan senses that Jerry knows something about this, and he flees with Jerry. Jerry tries to explain everything to Morgan, that what is happening is all being done by that AI, which can find us using any modern device. So whatever kind of electronic device you possess, you should discard it. But by then Arya discovers them through CCTV and takes control of a fighter jet and sends it right after them. They both begin to run, but their car veers ahead and flips over, in which Morgan sustains very serious injuries, and they are in no condition to continue onward. So they give the task of protecting the president to Jerry, and to halt that fighter jet, they make their sacrifice. On the other hand, we are shown Rachel, which is getting prepared to attend the president's function, and around her neck, there is that very same necklace, on which she has placed the crystal to be detonated. Now everything becomes clear for the audience, that Arya desires that Rachel should take that crystal and attend the president's function, where Rachel's own son was about to play the very same drum pad, in which he was the trigger. because of which the crystal bomb would be activated, and everyone present there, including the president, will all be killed. Now Jerry arrives near the president's residence, where Rachel had already gotten to. On the other hand, we see Joe and Blue Man, who begin to attempt to shut Arya down. But upon seeing this, Arya starts to transfer its entire program to another location. But before that, that's success, which starts destroying all the circuits belonging to Arya. And at last, Arya is shut down. But the danger to the president, it was still not gone, because as Arya had orchestrated, everything was proceeding exactly the same. Jerry manages to steal the security guard's clothes, and he goes inside the president's house, where Rachel's son was just about to play the drum pad. Then Jerry, in order to stop him, he discharges a firearm into the air, and because of the gunshot, chaos breaks out, and Rachel's son also refrains from playing the drum pad, because of which a blast does not happen, and the president is kept safe. Now the defense officer informs all the others about Arya, what she has done, and she is ordered to be shut down permanently, and Arya is deactivated forever, and all of them receive honors, who assisted in saving the president, Jerry, Rachel, and it was also Jerry's brother, who gave his own life to save the president. Jerry's dad. You are extremely happy upon seeing Jerry, and that is how this movie finally concludes.